A woman sent me a message on Reddit saying that I need to look at this user's post history. This woman's post history is precisely why I warn about the tradwife to poverty pipeline, or the reason why I talk about having a plan B, C, D, E, F, G, L, M, N, O, P, because something like this could happen. And if you are a stay-at-home mom who doesn't have an education, any career experience, any money of your own, then you're trapped like this woman. There's nothing I can do about this woman, but we could use this as a cautionary tale going forward. There's a lot of triggering things that are going to be in this story. So that is your trigger warning. This story is pretty terrible. So let's get into it. I'm going to do several of her posts and not a lot of the comments. I'm just going to mostly do the posts. This is from 4 months ago. I don't recognize my life anymore. Please be kind. I'm hanging on by a very thin thread. I effed up. I don't recognize my life anymore. I effing hate everything. Why did I do this to myself? Why did I want kids so badly? I messed up and there's no going back. I think about self-deletion daily. No money to hire a nanny. My marriage is effed too. We haven't been away from the child together ever. For 14 months, we haven't been alone once. I have lost friends. I've lost my cat, and I didn't have time to grieve. I miss him so much. I have no idea who I am anymore. There's no fixing this. I've lost all hope. All I feel every day is anxiety, panic, dread, stress, etc. I cannot effing hear the child's screams one more second or I'm going to go insane. She says, thank you to everyone who wrote a comment. It was very nice to read them. It warmed my heart. To clarify, my husband contributes a lot. Recently, he has the baby more than me, and I still can't handle it. We're sick at the moment because my baby caught a virus on his first day of daycare, and so that adds to me being completely burnt out. I have a psychiatrist, and I have tried so many meds, but they all give me severe side effects, so I had to stop. After writing this post, I took a walk as per my husband's suggestion. It was really nice and I calmed down. When I got home, my eyes immediately filled with tears and I started to break down again. This reminds me of that one time I had a panic attack, so I ended up in the ER. It was late at night, but my panic attack stopped after I got there and I realized the reason I had a panic attack was because of what was going on with the baby. I had to wait a long time in the ER until a doctor could see me, which would usually be annoying, but I remember feeling so relieved that I got a couple of hours away from home and didn't feel guilty because I was just going out to rest. I actually had a reason to be out of the house. Anyway, sorry for rambling. Everybody should not be a mother. Everybody should not be a parent. And I wish we would get to the point of being in this society and normalizing women being able to opt out without these feelings, these pressures of guilt or whatever. This is another post from the same woman. This was posted 4 months ago as well. She said, my husband admitted to manipulating me our entire relationship and never loving me. She says, I'm so shaken up. I cannot stop crying. I'm in complete shambles. My husband admitted to me that he has manipulated me our entire relationship and that he never loved me. He just wanted to appease me so I didn't make his life hard. He also said that I have ruined his life. Our relationship has always been rocky and we both have mental issues, but based on what he has always told me, I was under the impression that we were in this together and doing our best, that we love each other and try our best for each other, but I was so wrong. He told me that that was originally the intention, but he felt trapped and just started manipulating me into thinking things were okay just so he can be more peaceful. This is such a mind F. I asked him like 10 times because I couldn't believe it, if every genuine action or emotion of love and happiness has been faked by him. He said yes. I asked if every time we had sex, he didn't enjoy it or want it. He said yes. He has reconfirmed 1,000 times that all of it was fake. I told him that's straight up psychopathic behavior, to which he said, yeah, maybe. The last 6 years have been a lie. Every time I gave up something to do something nice for him was for a person that only did what was best for him. He admitted that he never had my best interest at heart. Sometimes my best interest just aligned with what he wanted. What a bastard. What kind of human can treat another like that? There's no effing chance that I can ever 100% trust him like that. What kind of monster can make up that kind of lie? I'm sorry, a lie of a marriage. You mean to tell me that everything is a lie? I cannot process this. I might make an update because I'm a mess and there's a lot more to this story, but I just need to let it out. I can't tell anyone. I cannot even leave him. It's very complicated right now. If I left him right now, I wouldn't survive. How do I even move forward from this? If I told people about this, they would probably not even believe me because WTF. I am completely crushed. Also, we have a child together. What can happen to my life? Little update. It turns out he didn't mean most of what he said, and he said it to hurt me. The evening of that same day, many hours after the fight, I came to him and said, I am extremely hurt and shocked by what you did. He ended up apologizing and recognizing he has major issues, and I was a bit surprised by his positive behavior, so I let it rest. Yesterday, he was being very good and nice to me. It was a pretty positive day. In the evening, he even noticed that I was looking a bit down and talked to me about it. Now today, the day started hard because neither of us got much sleep last night because of our son. He has been agitated the whole morning and treating me like again. He has these effing mood swings despite being on antidepressants and ADHD meds, and I cannot handle these mind Fs anymore. He is ruining my life. Now the thing is, I myself am really an intense person. I have my own fair of mental health issues, but I'm always willing to work on it and try. And it's no effing excuse for all of this emotional abuse. I effing hate him. He told me he can't even remember about coming to me last night and talking about my feelings. I feel effing crazy all the damn time. You best believe I'm taking steps to get out of this BS unless he finally changes. For real. Sorry for all the swearing. I have pretty bad anger issues and have been worsening recently because I have no outlet. This man and this woman, they're in this cycle of abuse. He's mean. He apologizes. He brings her back in. He does the same thing. This is all a cycle of abuse. But there's more to these posts. Hold on. 2 months ago, nothing for Mother's Day. I woke up to nothing for Mother's Day. Not a happy Mother's Day, nothing. Last year, he already kind of ruined my first Mother's Day, and he only gives me stuff for these days if I remind him, but I'm sick of that. I didn't do it this year. Father's Day here was only a couple of days ago, and I let him sleep in, told him Happy Father's Day like 5 times, cut up his favorite fruit, etc. And he doesn't even care about this holiday, though he was happy to receive. But how is his first instinct to not to immediately look up when Mother's Day is? I mean, I expected this, to be honest. Yesterday I was gone for hours with our toddler. He could have easily picked up something small or made a card or cleaned up the house or let me sleep in this morning. Instead, he was a total a-hole to me yesterday and hasn't even apologized. I'm so effing done. This is beyond disrespectful to me. If he wanted to, he would. The internet exists. Calendars exist. He has a brain, and yet none of these resources were used because F me, I guess, the mother who went through hell to birth his child. All right, this was posted in the marriage subreddit. Same woman. My husband is cruel and rude to me. Please be kind in the comments. My husband is very rude to me often. I'm writing this after he was rude to me once again. I can't sleep because of it. I wish I could leave him, but we have a very high needs child that we can barely handle together. I don't know how to handle him alone. I also don't have a job or education right now since I'm a stay-at-home mom. But I'm working on that. I've applied to many jobs and I'm planning to go back to school. I want to get my life back in order, but the way he's cruel to me is so hard to bear. I can't even type out what he said to me because it's so humiliating and beyond horrible. I don't think I could ever forgive him for that and go back to normal. I try to act normal on a daily basis, but then he does something horrible again and I'm back to zero emotionally. He doesn't think about me and he simply doesn't care. It is painful to exist knowing what he has done to me. I'm having a hard time not internalizing it. Meanwhile, he's peacefully sleeping after mistreating me because he doesn't give a as he said many times himself. And then she posted this yesterday. Just leave all of us alone already, I was told by someone today. Someone close to me told me to leave them all alone because I burden them with my problems. I can barely cope with my problems as is. I can't take it much longer. If this is what life is, then I can't. This woman, as a cautionary tale, is the exact reason why I want women to have a plan B, C, D, E, F, G, L, M, N, O, P. You see how everything has spiraled from 4 months to yesterday. That is such a short time period to learn that her husband manipulated her into being in this relationship. They have a child together. She feels trapped. And now she is having these ideations. This is terrible. This is sad. And I don't want us to go through this. If you do not want to be like this, please have all of your ducks in a row. Join the conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. So this story is a big yikes, and I want to know what you would do. This was posted in the True Off My Chest subreddit. She says, saved my V card for nothing. Due to religious and cultural reasons, I, 27-year-old woman, waited until marriage for SMEX. I wanted a career first, and my first serious relationship didn't pan out. So I ended up marrying at 26. It's too bad my husband, 27-year-old man, doesn't like having it with me. I'm pretty, I'm fit, I cook and clean, I have nice boobs, butt, brains, good hygiene, but my husband has almost zero smex drive, as far as I can tell. He doesn't hug me or kiss me if I don't ask. I thought he was trying to be chaste before marriage and respect my morals. I was wrong. I feel like there's no solution within the specific community that I'm in that doesn't involve a divorce justified by cheating. I can't cheat. I'm only ever slept with him. I don't have the gall to do it with anybody else. He is honestly very nice, aside from depriving me of any physical touch. But I'm lonely to the point of considering self deletion. This is terrible. This is the reason why I cannot stand the cultural stance of purity. It's challenging to me. You have these women who think if they do X, Y, and Z that they will get to the promised land and get everything that they want. They'll get the marriage, the kids, and all of that as long as they stay chaste and pure. And then you end up with something like this. And then the whole stigma around divorce within some of these communities is like they just want a woman stuck. These religions that have these rules that want women stuck, is this what y'all's God really wants for you? Your God wants you miserable with somebody who denies basic human intimacy? It doesn't make sense to me, but that's one of the reasons why I'm agnostic, because many of the rules just don't seem great. Like your God just wants you miserable, and you have to go through all of this to get to the other side, to get to um your religion's version of heaven. So you got to be miserable during this life to get to heaven on the other side. And then this woman is talking about self. She's so lonely. She's thinking about self deletion. They would rather not give her a divorce and, see her do this. Yeah, none of this makes sense to me. Listen to this amazing advice. Those thoughts will fade. You sound normal. Oh, okay, that's wonderful. Just wait it out. And then the OP says, is there a time frame? It's been 5 years. She's been dealing with this for 5 years. And then this person says, shrugs, in 20 years, you'll know. Take some breaths and think about what you're thankful for, maybe. This is some really amazing advice. Okay, so Far Camera says, please have an honest conversation with your husband. He may be asexual and may not have realized it until now. And then she says, I waited for marriage, but he definitely didn't. He's not asexual. And then Sneaky Cat said, you claim he's not asexual, but I only see four possibilities. He is asexual, but perhaps doesn't realize. Number two, he is taking care of his needs himself. Number three, someone else is taking care of his needs. Number four, he could have medical issues. Sister Charity Alt says, number five, he is secretly a man loving man and just told you his past relationships were with women. I get it falls under number two and three, but there is very real possibility due to religious repression that it's number five. And then Salty Air says this, OP is LDS and married to a closeted man loving man, tale as old as 1830 ish. Family and cultural pressure pushes those man loving men urges deep, deep down, only to rise, usually after a few kids or the death of parents. It could also be something completely different. I'm sorry for your unhappiness. Witchy Woman says, I had a teacher in high school who is LDS. And during the sex ed part of the class, he told the whole class that it's better for marriage if you live together for at least 6 months before you get married, because then you'll have a chance to decide if you're truly compatible and if you live with each other's quirks and habits. I'm sorry, if you can live with each other's quirks and habits. He was the only teacher who taught sex ed and didn't preach abstinence only. Ironically, none of the girls who ever had him as a teacher got pregnant in high school. Turtle NC says, without honest conversation, it will be difficult for you in your marriage. Tell him what you expect from him. Ask him what he expects from you. Listen without judging. Maybe you need to change your foreplay. Maybe some sexy music in the background. Maybe he's ashamed of something. Maybe he thinks he's not enough for you in bed. It's hard to say without talking. It's also a good idea to seek advice from a sexologist. If you're ashamed to go to a specialist in your city, go somewhere else. Apparently, everyone has a different love language. And then the OP says he's ashamed that he can't make me orgasm, but that's out of my control. I think shame is silly. He just should keep trying, but he'd rather quit. Or you can do some self-discovery and then teach him what makes you orgasm. Substantial Access says, I'm well discovered. He doesn't like it when I instruct him in the bedroom. He'd rather figure it out on his own, despite the fact that he doesn't want to do any exploring and he'd just rather quit, is what she just said. Floyd says, he's a man-loving man. DM me for more. Okay, that's an invitation. And then Lower Radish says, man, I have the same issue and my husband isn't religious. Someone reply, if the answer is discovered, I'm very near divorce. All right, y'all, I'm going to end it there. This sounds terrible to me, but I do want to know what your comments are. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. So this is an update to a post that I did a couple of days ago. It was titled, My Husband Cheated and Gave Me an STD While I'm Currently Pregnant. She was seeking advice. She says, I called the AP, and AP stands for Affair Partner. She says, I finally decided to find out the truth about his affair. I figured out my husband's email password and discovered he's been on dating sites for months. I also found a woman's name and email address from hotel bookings he forwarded to her. I Googled her information, found out where she worked, and called her. When she picked up, I got scared and hung up, but she called back and we had a long conversation. She said she didn't know he was married and kept apologizing. She told me that if my husband and I had been intimate in the past few weeks, I should get tested because he gave her an STD. I was shocked because I thought she had given it to him. She said he gaslighted her, making it seem like she got it from someone else. I told her he did the same to me. I didn't mention that I'm pregnant. She says she cut him off and is considering suing him over it. They met on Tinder and have been seeing each other for 6 months. Although I initially thought she should have known he was married, but I believe her because my husband isn't on social media. He has an Insta account but doesn't post pictures. She confirmed that they had sex multiple times, contradicting his claim that it was a one-time thing. She said they spent time in hotels until she felt comfortable inviting him to her apartment. We came to the conclusion that she was just one of the women he was involved with because he gave both of us an STD. Hearing all of this made me sick, knowing there are other women. I feel stupid for not realizing what was going on and probably wouldn't have found out if it wasn't for the STD results. My husband doesn't know what I've discovered or that I've spoken to her. This is incredibly tough. I'm heartbroken and conflicted about whether I should schedule a smamortion, but finding this out is pushing me towards that decision. So I always do take these stories with a grain of salt. I do recognize that this is the internet and anybody can write anything, but the cautionary tale still stands. If you have a cheater for a spouse and you are currently pregnant and you're early enough in that pregnancy, keeping that pregnancy going would be silly. Thinking that you're going to be able to stay in a relationship or co-parent with a cheater is foolishness. You should not do this. If somebody is willing to put your health at risk, he is not suitable to be a partner to you in co-parenting. The only way I would see understanding and going forward with this pregnancy is if, you're advanced maternal age, you really want to do this and you're willing to do this alone with no input, as if this was a sperm donor situation. But in that case, that would have to mean that this man would be hands off and not want to have any input or do anything or co-parent at all. And you never know with these types of people. So that is where I stand. I don't believe that cheaters are redeemable people. I believe they lack integrity, that they do not deserve to be in relationships with people. I believe that they should be shunned from society. But that is my hard red line stance. And I know that some people are more flexible with cheaters than I am. I completely understand, but that's my stance on it. Now, for some of the comments, many of them are saying the same thing, so I'm only going to do a few. Leo Star says, I'm sorry, but I will go through with the smamortion. RH Superfan says, and tell him after it's done, then you can say whatever the hell you want. It's your choice. Giz Wizard says, I disagree that she needs to tell him she's aborted. Say, I lost the baby is good enough. Sad Panda says, I don't know. I would explicitly tell him that I terminated the baby because of him being a complete scumbag, and the idea of bringing a child into a world with him as a father was reason enough to terminate. It is what it is says, then he can play the victim card the rest of his life. My ex-wife unalived our baby. Of course, he'll leave out all the details as to why. She should terminate, but tell him she had a miscarriage due to having gonorrhea that he gave her. Make him think it's his fault. Sand Panda says, ooh, I do like that better. Touche. Pussfield Soul says, ooh, that's good. Semantic Pedantic says, sorry, but I need to hijack your top comment. There was a woman who posted here yesterday who didn't find out her husband had infected her until 18 months afterwards. She had to have a complete hysterectomy. Whatever you do after finding out your partner cheated, always get tested for STDs immediately. This person says, I agree. More people saying, make sure you just terminate. So that's where they stand. This is the update. I figured I should bring that to you since I was tagged in it. All right, join the conversation. Let me know what you think. What would you do? Don't forget to like, comment, and share.